Well, hello from a beautiful, wet Saturday afternoon in Johannesburg. I am so deeply grateful that the rains have finally come and the dust has settled and nature's got its first good, solid rain for the season. And as you know, if you've been following or working with me for a while, healing your own trust issues and trauma, or whether you've been following me and helping yourself trust that you are the best medicine for you or your animal, then you already know that I really am on a mission to help you to do just that, to trust that you and your body are your own best medicine. And also, part of that is to understand the behaviors and the emotions of your animal companions alongside you. So often, our animals are our mirrors. And they're reflecting back to us a lot of the imbalances that are going on in our own lives. And sometimes they're not. Sometimes they really are out of balance in their own bodies. And after working with thousands of people and animals over the last, I don't know, nearly 20 years. And yes, we are all mammals. And while the size of our brains and the different functions, systems function differently between different mammals, we are, just like other animals, wired to respond to survive through predictive stimuli. Which is why the foundational piece to all health and well-being, for me, it has to start by being deeply rooted in trust. And how do you understand that you can trust if your nervous system is on hypervigilant or fight, flight, freeze response all the time? So not only will you be able to recognize your own triggers, but you're also going to be able to see what's going on with your own animal friends and deepen your relationships by taking back your power in making informed decisions based on educational trainings and experiential training, like the trainings that I provide, which I hope that you're finding are a good resource to help yourself. And then without having to revert to unnecessary and harmful drugs, because there's often so many side effects from many of the drugs that are supplied by Western medicine. They treat the symptom, not the cause. And the reality of it is that big pharma for people and animals, it's a multi-billion-dollar sick care model. It's not one that is motivated to keep people and animals healthy and well. And we know that. We just have to look around to see the byproducts of that industry moving into the weight loss industry and the food industry and all the other industries that have popped up to counteract the effects of big pharma and Western drugs. And I'm not saying that there isn't a time and a place for drugs. There absolutely is. But we all know that we don't take antibiotics for seasonal flu. We take them in life-threatening situations. And this has got very out of balance, and something that through these trainings that I'm hoping that you're starting to see that there are much healthier, less costly, natural medicine that comes from nature herself. And when you start to learn the physiology and the workings of the nervous system, and you understand where we go out of trust, then by having this information, you're going to be able to start to understand and intuitively, non-verbally communicate with your animals and get what they need straight from your horse or your cat's mouth, and figure out what's going on before you need to visit a doctor or a vet. So stay tuned. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my newsletter over at sarahjanefarrell.com, because in a few weeks' time, I have something I'm really excited to offer you that you won't want to miss if you are a kind person that loves animals, and being an intuitive, highly sensitive yourself, that perhaps is going to benefit you too. Because, as I said earlier, we're all mammals, and we need community, we need support. And the best news is this short training series is going to cost you nothing except your commitment in investing some time in actually going through the videos and the worksheets that I'm going to provide for you. So you really have nothing to lose and a lot to gain. And I promise you, it will open up a whole new world of possibilities for you and your animal friends to be able to heal naturally from any kind of trauma-related illnesses or relationship issues or behavioral issues that are happening in your beloved companion's life. And in so doing, help yourself deepen into right relationship with your body and your business and your relationships as well, so that you can stay calm and peaceful and focused to make life work for you in bigger and more beautiful ways, as well as help your animals too. So look out for that. And before I sort of jump into today's little dose of body mind medicine on how to help your animals that are perhaps trying to get your attention that something is out of balance because there's an obsessive compulsive licking going on, either of their paws or perhaps they have hot spots or something else, I wanted to just recite two beautiful quotes that I love, because the weather today kind of had me giggling that I would love nothing better now that my day is done to climb into bed, because there's nothing better than being in bed with a good book when the weather is rainy outside and a good dog and cat companion with you. And Groucho Marx says that outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read. And I love that, because you can really have the best of both worlds, as a good book and good cuddles from your animal companion at the same time. And of course, because I am on this mission to really raise consciousness on the planet to animal lovers out there and people that perhaps have lost their way and have forgotten that they have a heart, to come back into mindful regard and really treat all species, including nature herself, with reverence and a lot of respect, because we are part of nature and we've so separated out from really realizing that as part of nature, we need to take care of our own internal climate so that we can do more in supporting a sustainable planet and helping other animals and people in need. And that saying that saving, and a place that often comes up in discussion within my community in the animal communication classes and the trust process workshops that I do, is often a hopelessness that people say, well, saving just one pet won't change the world. One animal won't change the world. And I beg to differ, because for that one animal, you are changing their world. And then it's another, and then it's another, and it's another. So don't focus on trying to save the whole world at once. Just remember to stay deeply rooted into the focus of your intention being to help one animal and celebrate the small wins. Remember, inch by inch is a cinch and yard by yard is hard. So just a bit of loving kindness goes a long, long way. And just to get to today's question, I've had a couple of people that have come through my clinic in the last couple of days, and yes, a lot of it is related to seasonal changes, with all the pollen coming up in springtime and summer. There's a lot of animals and people that are affected by seasonal allergies. And one of them that gets asked often is, what do you do about this annoying behavior of a cat or a dog that is excessively licking his paws, or chewing his nails, or licking his stomach, or licking his private parts? And of course, I'm not a vet. So if this is something that's been going on, first, always examine the hot spot, examine where they're licking, see if there's anything there. Maybe it's a tick, maybe it's a hot spot, maybe there's something like a thorn or a splinter in the dog's paw, or a burr that is stuck, like a blackjack or something in their fur, and it's causing inflammation or irritation. And of course, if it isn't something that you can obviously see, always go and consult your vet. But if there is like a staining that's appearing, from constant licking and the saliva, and it's an ongoing thing, it's most likely is being caused by an allergic response to something. And you can always consider trying this really easy, cost-effective home remedy to see if that will perhaps help your animal in alleviating some of the inflammation. And of course, always, I can't stress enough the value of feeding a species appropriate, high protein diet for your dogs and cats, which have a digestive tract that is not designed to eat refined sugars and carbohydrates. So feeding a meat-rich diet is always the best way to go in preventing any kind of inflammation or disease, and keeping the gut microbiome really, really healthy. But just for today, especially when it comes to obsessive compulsive licking, knowing your animal's emotional state, knowing where they are, is always the best sign, and something that is so overlooked with people that want to just jump in and fix things without actually looking if there isn't an emotional component behind it. Because remember, the body always follows the mind. Same with us, it's the same with our animals. So finding out, has there been a change in environment? Has your animal gone into an area that perhaps has triggered some old unresolved trauma that's bringing up the obsessive compulsive licking? Or is it something more physical, like a burr or a splinter, or some kind of sore that's not healing, and your dog or cat is licking it all the time? And because there's this excessive licking, the fur is stained. Oftentimes it gets like an orangey red color around the area from their saliva, because they're constantly licking it. So it gets red and inflamed and swollen and quite painful to touch. As well, when you constantly are scratching and mosquito bite, or a wound, and you keep scratching it and the scab keeps coming off, it does get more painful to touch. So find out what's causing it, because there are a lot of possibilities, too many to mention today. But look at the most common cause, that by far is an allergic response to something. And secondly, in regards to the obsessive licking, can be a lot to do with secondary yeast infections. So try out my little recipe. If you'd like the printed out version of this, just click on the link below. But just write this down if you have a pen handy, because it's a very, very good topical anti-allergy or anti-yeast recipe that can really, really help. And I love to use that along with CBD oil, either in the wound cream that we supply to soothe the area that's infected or inflamed, and of course to give it orally to maintain good health within your animal's body, and of course yours as well. But it goes kind of like this. So you just brew yourself up. So the next time you're making yourself a beautiful cup of green tea, brew up a cup of green tea and let it cool down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add 2 tablespoons of cloudy apple cider vinegar. And if you've made your own, that's even better. Or you can actually use the juice of your sauerkraut or something like that. You're going to put a tablespoon of salt in, and you're going to put 10 drops of lavender essential oils, which has got a very calming effect to it as well. I sometimes like to use Valor, which is a beautiful combination of essential oils that a lot of highly anxious animals really enjoy, because it has such a calming quality. But for this topical application of this infusion, just stick with lavender oil for now. And remember, because the green tea has wonderful antibacterial qualities, and the apple cider vinegar or the juice from your sauerkraut is very effective for yeast, because it's got a lot of very healthy bifidobacteria and healthy qualities to it that feed and balance good gut microbiome. And remember, the digestive system starts in the mouth. It starts for your animal in its sense of smell. So putting that in their food too, 2 or 3 forkfuls of sauerkraut, or some, oh gosh, I can't think of the name right now, coconut kefir, or a good strain of live probiotic is great. Or cooking, when you're slow cooking your dog or cat's food, to put a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in it when you're cooking it is really effective for yeast. And of course, the salt is something that's been used to cure meats for a long time, and it's also a great antibacterial, and it'll also take down some of that swelling. So if I'm putting the juice of my ferment in there rather than the apple cider vinegar, leave the salt out, because we use salt when we're actually creating our sauerkraut. And of course, the lavender oil offers any kind of anti-yeast and some antihistamine qualities to also help to soothe and calm down that inflammation. And so it's as simple as that. And then what you can do is just soak that affected area. You could put it on some gauze or some cotton wool, and just dab it on the affected area. Or if they'll let you, you can actually put their feet or your own feet, if you're suffering from yeast infections or funguses, soak your feet in that beautiful brew for about 5 minutes twice a day. And then after 7 days, see if there's any improvement in it. And of course, if you're still concerned or worried about it, please take your animal to the vet. So that is my 2 cents worth on how to help soothe inflammation and stop your cat or dog from that annoying licking. Where telling them to stop is not very helpful, but really recognizing that there's something going on there and getting very curious about what that could be, and learning how to speak to your animals and get the information of what is happening and how you can best help them from your animals is a great way to be your own Dr. Dolittle, is to actually learn how to use animal communications, and of course all the hands-on and off-body processes that I teach inside of the Being Human Through Animal Communication class, which I will be opening up again very soon. So stay tuned for that 3-part video series that's coming, where I'm going to teach you how to understand how your nervous system works, how your animal's nervous system works, and how to neuromodulate so that you can bring your animal down to a rest and digest stage where they can then trust that their bodies are going to heal, and that they can heal from unresolved trauma, because you're creating a beautiful container of peace and calm for them to do that. And I will see you very, very soon. So enjoy your Saturday wherever you are. And if you found this video helpful, or you have any other questions relating to how to be your own medicine for your animal or yourself, please post it in the comments, like this video, share it with other animal lovers that might be looking for some natural remedies from Mother Nature herself, to just help your animals stay happy, healthy, and vital. All right, lots of love. Bye.